It's going to be Hyder Amil versus Fernie Garcia. And I believe that this is going to be a short notice for Fernie Garcia. And he's actually coming off of it's coming up in weight, right? So
Yep.
this is going to be kind of a double negative kind of deal for him here. So Hyder
Yep.
Amil, 8-0. I believe that he's coming off of that Dana White Contender Series victory. He's fighting off against Fernie Garcia. He is actually 2-3 in his last five, and he's coming off of that loss right now. The odds for this fight, I think that is pretty heavily weighted towards Emil, especially for being a debut fighter. He is minus 255 opened, and now he is minus 190. So there has been some dog action taking on Fernie Garcia, which is kind of surprising in my opinion. To start off with this, I think that just to kind of get an introduction on Hayter here, I think that he's an aggressive striker. He likes to put on some pressure right out the gates, so he likes to start pretty fast. He has power in his shots. He likes to stalk his opponents and really stay in their face. I think that he can flow through the combos pretty well, and he seems to be durable with a good chin. He's an okay grappler, but he more likes to sprawl and brawl using that defensive grappling ability. But when he is on top, he likes to rain down some powerful ground and pound. Once he has, he can't get taken down, but I think he has a tendency to just get back up usually. And against a guy like Garcia, he's actually a decent all around fighter. He has a grappling background, but from the fights that I've seen of him recently, he prefers to keep it standing and just use his striking. I think that Ferdinand does have solid striking skills. His hands are quick. He's able to work in body shots. His loss to Journey Newsom, though, I mean, he was actually outstruck for at least two out of the three rounds. He has been outstruck in the UFC before, so his game plan doesn't work all the time. He also has a below average takedown defense of 47%, and this is where he struggled thus far mostly. His last two losses were to fighters who have just worked him in the grappling hole. I do think that this should be a stand-up battle as well because I think that Emil likes to keep it standing, and I feel like it's going to go similar to Fernie's loss against Journey Newsom. Now, I'm just not sure whether Emil is going to keep it standing though, because I feel like once he sees Fernie in the cage and notices this guy is pretty small, like smaller than him, and he's on short notice, Emil may just use the grappling and just kind of outmuscle and outsize this guy. However, I feel like he will just go back to what's natural to him and just strike and keep the grappling in his back pocket in case he needs it and in case he's struggling on the feet. I would definitely be more inclined to go with Hayter as a potential parlay piece if this was not his UFC debut. I feel like he's the better fighter everywhere, but we've seen a lot of debut people just kind of fuck up the bag, if you will. So, um, yeah, Hayter by decision, but I really want to play it, but I'm most likely to stay away from this too. I'm not gonna play UFC debut fighters at the moment. Alex, what do you think about Hayder Emil versus Ferdy Garcia here?
Yep. So, as you pointed out, Fernie Garcia moving up a weight class here. Um, I don't really understand it. Just because, Fernie was getting taken down at will against Rinya Nakamura. So, how is he going to fare against, guys that are a whole weight class above him? If we just look at his last three fights, Fernie Garcia, he was taken down four times by Nakamura, three times by Brady Hiestand, and two times by Journey Newsom. So, like, this guy is getting taken down rather easily, fighting at bantamweight. So, moving up a weight class, math would say that he's just going to get taken down again. Um, but with that said, Fernie Garcia, does have pretty powerful hands. He knocked down he stand very early in the first round. But watching that fight against Brady, he's so low volume, and it kind of just felt like he was hunting like a knockout blow, so not really stringing together combinations to set things up. And then for Hyder Amil, um, he was actually in a very interesting like grapple heavy fight against Emra. Uh, I think he showed a lot of heart in that fight. It was a crazy endurance battle. You could tell by like the third round, like these dudes were just uh, spent, and it was crazy. Um, but as you kind of alluded to, I would also kind of be careful with this fight. It's kind of giving me like that Nicholas Mata, Tom Nolan vibes, where Hyder Amil, he's like very aggressive. If you watch that Dana White Contender Series fight, he's kind of like just in your face from the very first second, and so it's kind of giving me those vibes. But um, I think um, Emil actually has like a chin on him, which could be the difference here. So I am picking Hyder Emil. Um, Still debating on if I want to put him in parlays, but I am going to pick him.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement with you for sure.